So I'm constantly intrigued by the Russian media monitor and the little video clips that they put out. And I'm going to show you one here. By the way, if you speak Russian and can translate and you're technically savvy and we can get access to more of these video clips, I think we need to produce more of these, not just what they're doing. They're doing excellent work. But if you're that kind of person, contact me because I think we need to pump out more of these because they are telling us things that they would otherwise somehow deny, but their state media is all connected. So when they say these things, take it as what they're actually wanting to tell their own audience. And okay, so here in this video, they're saying there's a general here who's saying the Russia's invasion of Ukraine is just the beginning. I don't think that's the headline. I think there's more to it. But let's watch this, and we'll see what we see. Okay, again, special thanks to the Russian Media Monitor for this. Tell me, what is the war that we're waging? How do you perceive it? How has it changed in these last 2 years? How much have we changed during this war? The general response: the war we're currently waging in Ukraine, and many people don't want to understand this. In reality, for Russia, this is a holy war. Let's stop there for a moment. A holy war. What do you mean by a holy war? And he's going to unpack this. It's really interesting. And nothing else. It is holy because we didn't want to take it from Ukraine. Really? You didn't want to take it from Ukraine? You were forced to do it? The Ukrainians made you, or the West made you? Is that what you're trying to argue? You didn't want to take it from Ukraine. Huh? Some piece of land, some mountain, or some mine. It's not important what they have or don't have. What's most important is what's behind it. Over there, we're defending the interest of our people. Okay, but you're not defending the interest of the Ukrainians, who you're more than happy to trample on in pursuit of defending the interest of your people. And are you really defending the interest of your people? It's really interesting to my mind that you're saying, well, these Russian speakers are being oppressed, but you're not really worried about the million plus Russian speakers in Israel when you're taking up for Gaza and condemning Israel. So it's a really interesting thing. I'm not worried about the Israel, which side of the Israel Gaza thing that you fall on. Don't worry about that. Worry about the logic of we stick up for the Russian speakers here, but we don't stick up for the Russian speakers there. Over there, we're defending the interest of our people in terms of spirituality, morality, divine values, universal human values. What are the universal human values that you're trying that you're protecting? Like, think about this in a significant way. You can tell who the good guys are by how they act, generally speaking. Now, not always. Sometimes good guys can go a little off the rails, but generally speaking, do the good guys kill civilians? Do the good guys target civilians? Do they rape innocent women? Do they murder people who are non-combatants? Do they like? And you go down the list and down the list and down the list of the war crimes that Russia is perpetrating upon Ukraine. You invaded Ukraine. Ukraine didn't invade you. Like, just think through this. And you're defending universal human values by doing that? I don't think that's it. There, we became a buffer from Satanism. Stop. Satanism means the West. Satanism means America and America's values. And really, by what you're acting like, that sounds kind of more like Satanism to my mind than whatever else was going on when they had freedom and they weren't being invaded by you. That was moving closer and closer to our borders. So, okay, so the Satanism was moving closer to your borders. You're talking about NATO encroaching on you, but NATO didn't move closer to you. Every Warsaw Pact nation left. They did not want to be controlled by Russia. They did not want to be under Russia's thumb. They left for the freedom that they found when they freely elected within their own countries to join NATO. That should tell you something about what they think about Russia. Basically, it completely surrounded Russia. This Satanism was going to destroy our country. Okay, it completely Russia has this really weird kind of bipolar thing where we're the best, but we're also surrounded and embattled simultaneously. It's a really bizarre thing to watch. The Satanism was going to destroy our country, to consume it and break it up into small parts. And that's a standard Russian talking point that the West wants to cut up Russia and make it into small parts. Look, honestly, February 2022, before you invaded, we weren't paying that much attention to you. We really didn't care. Like, we're just like, you just do your thing over there. But once you cross the border into Ukraine, that was a different story. This war will be the starting point. Now, this is the headline that the Russian media monitor has, that this war is just a beginning. I think the headline is more about that it's a holy war and that these are our values, and right, because and they're communicating with both of these lines. They're communicating what they really believe and what they really want their people to believe. But they're telling us right now this war is just the starting point, which means that they're going to go on. Now, if you think about it, it's very important because people were mocking Austin when he's saying, like, if we don't do this now, they're going to trip NATO Article 5, and then we're going to have to send our sons and daughters, right? He's saying it's just a starting point. So let's not be hard on Austin when he's saying this here. If you remember, I told you this. First, we have to be cleansed. Cleansed? What do you mean by cleansed? Only after Russia purges itself of this filth that permeates our society, which it infiltrated, when all of us in unison come to God, maybe not all of us, more work needs to be done. Only after that will we see the results of our actions. We will start winning. So if you purge yourself of whatever it is, you'll start winning. Like, this is, I think maybe you shouldn't be doing these war crimes and such. I mean, but he's not talking about that. He's talking about something else. Here, only Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin himself could confront the most satanic nations, and again, he's talking about America and then the West broadly speaking, all of whom are joined together as one, believing that nothing could stand in their way. Okay, so they're not starting it. The Russians crossed the border. That triggered the West coming to their aid. They weren't beating up on Russia, and then the Russians had to cross the border. His revision of history is just alarming. Okay, imagine this. We are all alone. Even though Belarus is by our side, our nation is fighting against this Satanism alone. Well, I guess that tells you what they really think about Belarus. Using only our own resources. He, Putin, was able to personally confront this Satanism and lead all of our people along with him. Believe me when I tell you, what we're seeing today is the beginning. Again, he keeps telling you this is the beginning. We're going to keep going. This is just a starting point, which is one of the reasons why you can't really sit down and negotiate with Putin when he's already shown you that he's not a good faith actor. What we're seeing today is the beginning. Of course, this special military operation will end, but don't think that they will let us live in peace after that. Of course, it's the West that's not going to let you live in peace. It's just bizarre. Now, again, I can't tell, and help me understand this if you understand. I can't tell if he believes this, if he's just spouting talking points, or if it's some kind of combination. Because if he really believes that, that's scary. If he doesn't believe it and he's talking these talking points for Russian state media, that's a different story. But I can't tell exactly where this guy is. We can't relax. We have a very, very long road to that victory when we will be the nation number one. Oh, okay, so you have nation envy. And I do believe that that's legitimately part of what's driving this. We already are, but we have to prove it to the world. Yeah, they're already number one. Thanks to the heroes, our heroism of our guys. We did not let the Satanists carry out their plans and fulfill the promises they made to their own owners, the American Satanists. Okay, so again, the West, America is the great Satan, the West writ large, and Ukraine to some degree is also Satanism. These truly are the heroes, about whom a lot will be said throughout history. Well, you got to believe a lot's going to be said throughout history, but not in the way that you mean. Okay, what did he mean? What was he saying? Did he really believe it? I'd love to know what you think about this particular general saying what he said. Put it in the comments below. Uh, just help me understand it. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your willingness to listen to me all the way through this. And again, if you speak Russian and are willing to clip videos and have access to clip videos and translate, talk to me. Send me an email. Let's communicate because I think we need more of these. The Russian Media Monitor does a great job, but I think we can do even more and get this message out even further. Thank you for the likes, the shares, the subscribes, the coffees, and thank you for being the kind of person that cares about Ukraine.